the 45mm Samyang. Welcome back, my loyal subscribers. Today we're talking about one of the best compact lenses you can get for your Sony camera. And this time I just want to give you my first impressions with a lens I just got recently. And this lens comes from me wanting something a little bit more portable from the pro lenses that I usually use, like the 35-1.2 from Sigma, which I'm actually using right now. I actually wanted to test it out and see if it was good, how good it was actually for video, because I usually just do photography. But anyway, that lens is pretty big, so when you want to go low-key, under the radar, take some casual shots, you know, street photography, when you're not doing something professional, you want it for yourself. I still want some nice separation for subject and background, so nice bokeh, probably like an f1.8. When we're talking about compact lenses, you're looking f1.8, f2, f2.8, and so this lens perfectly fit those specifications I was looking for my needs. And so I'm talking about the Rokinon Samyang 45mm 1.8. Now, the first thing, 45 is a weird number. I mean, you're used to hearing 35 or 50, maybe 40. I think Canon and Sigma are the few that have done a 40. I think Tamron made a 40, but it's for the Canon, not for Sony. But anyway, 45 is very interesting because they claim, and many people say, that this is the closest focal length to your actual vision. And although your vision's wide, your actual vision that you focus with, you know, what's immediately in your attention is around 45 millimeter. So I wanted to test it out. And one of the reasons to try this lens or even look at it is the size. It actually came in this small case, and I know it's kind of difficult to tell the size, but I've got it on the Sony a7 III here, and as you can see, I'd say it's fairly compact. It's not as pancake as a Zeiss 35 or a Rokinon 35, which I did consider. But because of the 1.8, it was hard to go to 2.8, although I think I will end up trying the Samyang 35 2.8 just because it's one of those easy budget lenses. At the same time, it's so compact. You can go, I mean, if this one is small, the other one's even smaller. So I feel like it's overdue for me to try one of those. I've tried so many 35s, but 45, I was so intrigued I had to get it. So I have a couple of test shots. I haven't done, like I said, this is a lens I want to use for like weekend, you know, just for fun, street photography, take pictures of my cat, which is mostly what you're going to see on my samples. This is not a thorough review, it's just the first impressions. But after using it for about a week, I can tell you that it is very fast focusing. It's better than I expected. The quality, the sharpness is pretty good. I did notice a little bit of chromatic aberration, and you'll see it in some of those pictures that I'm showing you on the screen. But this is an all-rounder lens. I feel like you can just pick this up, put it on your Sony, and again, this is on the a7 III, but if you have the a7C, it'd be even a little bit, just a little more compact. Or on APS-C, I mean, it kind of kills the 45 millimeter that you get this lens for. It'd become whatever 1.5 is, around 70 or close to that. But at 1.8 for 45, I think the price is right for this lens. And although the build is not impressive, there's no weather sealing, there are no buttons on it, it's a straightforward lens. It's for fun, it's for getting decent shots, for hobbyists, for travel, on the go, you know, without being an obstacle with a big zoom lens or, you know, something a little bit more pro like a 35-1.2 or a 1.4, which would protrude around here. 45 is just very easy, and I find that as I use it more, I actually appreciate the size difference and how easy it is to just pull the camera out and take a shot. So I did get to try the video autofocus, and although not extensively, because I will do another video with a bit more thorough review on this, I did record a blooming T. I've never seen one of those before or tried it. So when I made one, I was like, this is the perfect chance to try this out and see if with the glass and, you know, the leaves inside the glass, how well it would focus. And I think it did pretty well. As you'll see from the video sample, nothing exciting. It's not wildlife being captured, but as you can see, the sharpness is decent, the look and the bokeh is nice. I shot the video at 1.8, 60 frames per second. I think I had to push the ISO a bit mid-range more than I'm comfortable with, but it still looks very clean. And as you can see in the video, the image quality is very good. Overall, first impressions, the pros, the size is very hard to beat unless you get the 35-8 from them. This is very small compared to any Sony lens that you look at for a full frame camera. It's kind of hard to believe how Rokinon and Samyang are making great autofocus lenses after, you know, just focusing on manual lens. And those were my first entry level when I was on a budget and I couldn't afford professional lenses. They're really doing a great job at making these lenses accessible, because if someone doesn't have the budget for a f1.4 around this focal length, this lens will do. And I think it would perform very well from the autofocus that I've seen so far and the video product. I'd say this is strictly more of a photography lens, but I think you can do shoots with this, definitely capable. Another pro is it's a 1.8, and at this size with a 1.8 you can really isolate your subject, and you'll see from the shots of my amazing cats that it does isolate and blur, makes it very pleasing to look at. It's pretty smooth. Some people who have reviewed it are saying it's not a perfect lens, and because of that it has good character. So one con I found out very quickly is the minimum focus distance. It's around 1.5 feet. And when I found myself trying to shoot something right in front of me, like on a table, or since I'm doing a lot of wrist shots for my watches on Instagram, I found that I couldn't get that distance right. It's a bit too far than I would have liked. I wish it would have had a shorter distance to focus on. I'm not asking for macro, but I think just a little bit more, maybe a foot, would have been great. At 1.5, you know, you kind of have to move back and rethink your shot. Another negative is it's not weather sealed, and obviously for the price it's kind of hard to ask for that, although they do have a couple that are weather sealed, partially weather sealed. This one just doesn't, so I wish that would have been added, a gasket at minimum. One more negative, when I did take some shots with direct sunlight glaring on the subject, I did notice a more chromatic aberration that I would have liked. But again, you could kind of fix that just by increasing, closing down your aperture to f2 or f2.2, 2.8. But if you're trying to shoot at 1.8, just be mindful. You're gonna get a little bit of that if the subject has direct sunlight glaring on them. For the retail price of $399, it's always, well not always, it's usually on sale for 100 off of that for $299. I think it's a good price for both professionals and entry level. If you want something quick that you can just pick up, use, still get some good separation at 1.8 and not worry about carrying any bulk. You know, it's very light lens. I mean, this is the box, this is the case. You saw how big it is. If you don't have a lens in that focal length and you just want something for travel that doesn't zoom, good aperture, this is a good lens to try out. So I hope you enjoyed this video. I'm definitely gonna make another one going in depth with more video testing, more autofocus testing on moving subjects, and more variety of subjects, not just the cats or things around the house. Thank you for watching.